say thank you and really, really shout out not only to every resident that lives here that has been really sacrificing and staying in your apartments and following the protocols and all of the many changes that have happened, but also our employees that are working around the clock to make sure that you are safe. I don't know if you know this, but a lot of them have signed a commitment where they go back home and they do not go out. They don't go see any of their friends or anything else. They're just staying in just like you are and then coming back to work so that we can make sure that we don't have any virus threats. So this is my chance to say thank you. And if you're in your apartment and you want to write a thank you message and you want to send it off, we'll be more than happy to get those sent off. I just want to say from my bottom of my heart, thank you for all of your hard work and dedication to making sure that COVID-19 stays out of this community. Before we get started into the nuts and bolts of all the agenda items I have for us today, I wanted to do just an introduction to some new faces that are in the community. And I sent out a letter of about two of them. One of them I didn't, so I have a surprise guest for you today. But this here is Gio. So Gio, go ahead and take your mask off. I'll put mine on. So Gio, tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing for us here.
So I'll be working so hard to keep I would be more happy to help you guys.
Perfect. And you're the housekeeping supervisor.
Yes, I'm the housekeeping supervisor and just starting like 2 days ago, and I'm happy to be here.
Good. Perfect. Well, we're glad to have you here. He's working with Juan this week to get caught up on a good handoff. Juan is leaving us to go to another community. We wish him the best, but we're very, very excited to have Gio. Gio has the experience of housekeeping management from a very large hotel. And so we're just very excited to have him on board, and all of his references came back with positive reviews. Very, very happy. I'll let you put your mask back on. And here's my surprise special guest that I didn't get a chance to announce. This is Kathy.
Hello, everyone.
And Kathy, tell us what you do for us.
I was so fortunate and very grateful to be hired here. It's kind of the pinnacle of my career to come here and work for all of you, because it is the standards that the Ackerly at Timberland upholds and what we want to give you personally, our personal standards too. I have a background in community relations and marketing, and I worked at a continuum of care campus for many years.
And you'll be doing sales?
Yes, right? I replaced Cher in the sales department, so my official title is a sales advisor. I am grateful and humbled to work along with Katie as my supervisor and Kate. So we're all three a team. So it's Kathy, Katie, and Kate.
That's yeah, wonderful. So great to have you. And I'm sorry that I didn't get a letter out that was explaining who you were, but now families and residents and employees can all see you. So
yes.
I better than a letter.
Yes. And I plan, my goal is to be here long term and dedicate myself and not be an employee that turns over. I want to stay the course, ride this virus out, continue to work for the families that are looking into the Ackerly, and just make sure I give you the level of customer service you deserve.
Thank you very much. I'll let you put your backpack on. And we have Patty over here. So, hi, Patty.
Everybody.
And Patty, tell them what you're doing for us here.
Well, I'm attempting to take control as the business office manager, and I think I'm getting on top of it with everybody's help. So trying to do the best I can.
It's a big job.
It's a big job. I'm happy to be here.
We are so lucky to have Patty. She has experience running her own business and seeing the craziness that I promised her in this job, because you get hit with everything all at one time. So please be patient as she is working through the many systems. But we are so fortunate to have you. And Patty reports directly to me, so she's on my team, and I'm so excited to have her here. So I'm going to let our guests go ahead and go back to their jobs. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. And as they sneak out, I'm going to be able to take my mask off and talk to you a little bit more. But I wanted to show you that we are all wearing masks, and that is how important it is that everybody does put on a mask when you're out in the community and you are walking around. If you're walking outside, we prefer you to wear a mask. However, some people, it's too hard for them when it gets too hot or whatnot, so they do take it off. But when you come into the community or into the hallways, you do need to have your mask on. If you are a family member or a caregiver, or you are designated as a caregiver for a family member, you are required to wear a mask and wear the appropriate, what we call PPE, which is protective gear. Gloves are essential as well, so wearing the gloves is important. And when people come in, they are immediately taken to a hand washing station and a sanitized station before they can even go up to the floors. So just want to first again say thank you so much. I know this has not been easy and it's not been fun, and you guys are doing such an amazing job at following the guidelines and the protocols. And ultimately, the goal is just simply to make this community COVID-free, so we do not have the virus come into the community. Boy, we could have a huge celebration at the end of this when we can say that we're one of those communities that never had COVID-19 come into this community. And it's because of all of the hard work and dedication that's been put into the quarantine protocols that are here. Our number one priority is you, though. We are still focused on making sure that we have open communication and dialogue with you. So it's important that you read information that's being sent to you to your apartments, also through our live broadcast, and really, really taking heed of the messages that we give you. There is some good news that was sent out this week that said that the virus is slowing down in certain areas, and we are seeing the effect of being able to have a direct effect of not having people out and spreading this virus. Because again, this virus can be undetected, meaning that you could be having the virus and not even know it and be passing that virus on to others. That is why it's so important that we don't go to the grocery store, we don't go to the banks, we don't go to the stores, we don't go to doctor's offices unless we absolutely have a necessity to do so, and there is no other way to get that product to you here, or that service to you here. Many doctor's offices today are already doing a video chat with you so that they can see you and you can see them, and you can get diagnosed right there. I know that's not feasible for every situation, but it does cover the majority of the doctor visits. Going to the hospital is super risky because that is the chance of COVID-19 being in a hospital is pretty high. So we really have some strict standards on when people go to the hospital and when they come back. And then we also are, focused on the grocery store as being an area where a lot of people come and go. And even with all the protection that's out there, that is still a highly, it's just one of those areas that you really could pick up the virus pretty easy. And so we want to stop those situations from happening. We placed into a quarantine last week. If you remember, we announced that we were going into full quarantine, which means that we really limit the amount of time that you spend in the hallways and interacting with each other, so that we can just keep on this and make sure that we don't have any cases happen. In addition to this, we did start the new hand washing and sanitation station. So when you come in and out from your walks, so anytime that you leave the building and you come back, it has to be through our main front doors. It cannot be through any of our side doors. You need to go in through the check-in station, be able to get scanned for temperature, sign in to the sign in and out station. So when you go for a walk and you're signing out, you got to sign out like you normally do. And when you come back, you got to sign in like you normally do. And then you'll go to the hand washing station, wash your hands for 20 seconds, and then dry them off. And there's hand sanitizer there if you choose to use that, or you can place gloves on. And then you are ready to go up to your apartment and you're set. And that's what we're doing with everybody that walks into the building. They have to go through the sanitization station before they can get any further access into the building. So remember, again, it's important not to roam the hallways. I know that's hard because, gosh, it gets really boring. But roaming the hallways is also a good way for you to be susceptible to a virus. Wearing the protective gear, many times I'm going around and I'm noticing that people are not taking heed to the message of wearing a mask or gloves. And I really need you to take that message to heart, because that's the only way that we really can protect you right now. Other than putting you into a full gown suit, which I don't want to do that. So please just wear the mask and gloves when you're walking the hallways for your walk time, or if there was something that you needed to get, like your mail, and you go through those times, make sure that you're following that. We also have at the front desk more masks available that we can hand you. So if you don't have a mask, or you lost your mask, or something happened, don't worry, we have plenty of them today, and we'd be able to get you a mask. We also have some temporary masks that were sent to us today in a caseload. So we are good on masks on there. We also have gloves, so we're good there as well. We just took an inventory of all of our pandemic supplies, and we are looking good in case of a pandemic in the community, meaning that if we did have a COVID-19 situation, which again, we do not, but if we had a COVID-19 situation, we would be able to go into a strict full quarantine and be able to utilize all of our protective gear for all of our staff and be able to minimize any kind of other exposure. VoiceFriend is the best way that we can communicate with you and your family member. So it's really important that if they're not getting the live broadcast to them, or they're not getting an email or text message at least once a week, then they're probably not on our VoiceFriend system. And the best way to take care of this is to shoot me an email with the contact information of the family member, an email address, phone number, first and last name is really all I need, and then we can put them in. This is a great way for them to get information so that you're not having to constantly relay the information that's going on in the community. They can see it firsthand, and we send that out pretty rapidly. So having everybody on VoiceFriend is really important. If you are a resident and you don't know what VoiceFriend is and you're not getting notifications, you need to call the front desk, and the front desk will be able to assist you in getting set up with VoiceFriend. We updated our walking policy to allow for 2 walks now a day at 30-minute intervals. So those sign-up sheets are ready to go, and we're already taking calls, and we did call some people back that we had to deny walks to be able to get them onto their walk list. We want to be able to allow you to be able to walk 2 times a day for 30 minutes on each walk, and be able to space those out. Again, the reason that we do this is so that we can make sure that everybody has a safe distance amongst each other. We don't have a lot of people roaming our hallways, and we don't have a lot of people out in the community that could be susceptible to running into somebody else. So that's why we do the whole walking policy. You don't have to walk. Also, we do have our area outside in the courtyard where you could sit outside and be able to get fresh air, but you would sign up for the walking time for that, so that you would have that time available to you. Again, make sure that you have 6 feet distance amongst other residents or any other person, so that that way you're not doing any kind of possible cross-contamination. We currently are not allowing visitors to the community, so this is not a time for you to meet somebody outside and have a conversation with them in a 6-foot distance that's a family member, because right now we are not accepting visitors at all. So I just need everybody to stay on that. Really, really important. We also, the things that I wanted to go over, the things we can and cannot do in a quarantine. So the things that we can do in a quarantine is we can still have fun. Our guest services team is putting together a video right now that they're taking of you guys, where you're sending a video and a little message to a family member or a couple family members, and then they're also collecting those from family members back, and then they're going to create a video and be able to post that not only on Facebook, but also be able to post it onto this channel 981, so you'll all be able to see that. We have what we call soft launch, which we're hoping to have everything done by Friday. That may be a little zealous, so we'll let you know on updates of when that video will be completely edited and ready to go. But I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's video that they put together for their loved ones and be able to really see this kind of video photography, go into effect and be able to see people be able to communicate with their families. Even though it's a one-way communication, it's still a really important way for us to do that. I know that the fun cart is still coming around. Not only will it have games and other things, but I heard that there's going to be a happy hour fun cart. I'm looking forward to, if they need help with that, I could probably, help out with that. Where we pour wine and bubbly for you. There will be no charge for that. It is just during the fun cart time of a happy hour. We'll let you know a little bit more about that when that's coming around. I love that we're still able to do bingo the way that we've been doing it. We're doing our exercises the way that we're doing them. We're doing our movie over 981. We're doing some of our vendors that have come in that used to play music are doing that over the internet, and we're able to watch them and still be able to see them. So we are trying to be as creative as we can to have the fun. Last week, we were able to deliver tulips to all of the residents, and boy, it was so nice to knock on doors and be able to hand beautiful, beautiful tulips from the Wooden Tulip Festival people that donated that to us. That was awesome to have, and it was so nice to see the smiles on your faces in being able to deliver those. So we are trying whatever we can to have fun still, even though we're kind of in this lockdown situation. Things that you cannot do is, again, we talked about going to the grocery store, going, out for these emergency things. We really want to limit our ability to go out. We really want to stay safe here. One of the residents asked me the other day, can I order a pizza from somewhere else? Maybe, just get something different instead of just having food here. Absolutely. You can order to go order foods, or even have foods delivered through Grubhub, Uber Eats. There's a lot of different ways to get food delivered here. And we can help you with setting up those deliveries to come here and be able to deliver food to you as well. So if you ever want to get some of that comfort food, it's still out there, and you can definitely order it and do that. We, of course, do want you to utilize our food system that we have here because it is all in-house, it's protected and whatnot. But if you did, that is an option. You could have food delivered here. Is something that's still in there. The quarantine is really meant to keep visitors and other people from coming in, and allowing us to stay in place so that we can stay safe, which then limits the amount of exposure to this virus that is unseen for the most part, and we just don't want it here. So any help that we can do in doing that would be great. There is a vital sign check-in that's going on. It started yesterday, and it's going on still. We have some questions about, why do we need to do blood pressure? Let me just say that the vital sign check-in is not a requirement. If they knock at the door and you don't want to have your vitals taken, that's totally fine. Just make sure you have your mask on when you open the door, and just let them know that you don't want to do the vital signs. Or if you just want your temperature checked and not your blood pressure, just let them know, and they'll be happy to do that. There is no requirement for you to live here and have your vitals checked. It is just a service that we're offering to be able to make sure that everybody is being checked and taken care of. It's also just another way for us to check in on you and make sure that you're doing okay. And we have found some people that haven't felt really well. They don't have a virus, but they just didn't feel well. And we were able to get to them. Whereas if we weren't doing these check-ins, we wouldn't have even known that you weren't feeling well or that you needed a visit. So I think it's important to have. It may not be a necessity for everybody, but it is nice to have. When we do the temperature check, it is just a scan. We don't touch your forehead or anything like that. And the person that's checking you would have a face mask and everything on. They don't need to come into your apartment. They can do all this from your doorstep. You just need to let them know what your comfort level is. So we talked about the family video series that's happening. Very excited about getting these videos and being able to see what our families are saying to us and what you guys are saying to your families. And then some of the projects that we talked about, I did want to do a little update from our town hall. So some of the projects that we talked about in January of 2020 are obviously on hold at this time. Those projects are the dumpster area, where we were going to build a dumpster gate area and have the dumpster look a little bit better. That project is being held off right now. In addition to that, we are holding off on the electrical charging stations for electrical cars, because again, it requires people to come here and do the work, and we don't want people coming to the community, so we're holding off on that. We did have a railing project for Cornell's Restaurant on the walls there where the chairs scrape the walls. We're going to put a railing along the side there. That's just kind of been held off a little bit because it's not an emergency work. But if our team is able to get to that, they will get to that as soon as they can. Speaking about work orders, so we made an announcement a couple weeks ago that only emergency work orders will be taken care of, and things that are non-emergency related we'll have to hold off until we have back to business as usual. Cody and his team have done an excellent job of working on recording videos, how-to videos on how to fix your remote control and your thermostat, some of the main ones that we get a lot of. So those videos will be coming out to you on channel 981 here, but also in addition to that, there'll be these little video clips that you'll be able to play when you need to have them. And that's what I've got for you so far. So I just wanted to wrap up today and just say again what I started with. Just thank you so much. We are going to get through this. Many people are like, well, when is this going to end? I wish I had a magic ball that would tell me, but if I had to guess, we're going to probably still be into May. So just to kind of let you know where we're at, just realistically, we put in our 90-day plan, and May kind of comes up on that 90-day area. So we are looking at other plans just to make sure to be safe. But from what the feel is and what the community looks like and what's going on out in the outside world is the virus is slowing down and we're starting to look good. So hopefully we'll get to a point where we can release some of these protocols. We can get back to the normal life that we're so used to having. I know that we'll have a huge celebration when we can get back to that. And again, just thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I think every resident here has done such an amazing job of holding true to the protocols, really been open to feedback, and really been open to suggestions and ideas. And I just want to, thank you again for living here and being a part of this community. And we're trying everything we can, again, to just make sure that this is a healthy environment for everybody, and we want to do that. So for now, I'm going to sign off and say thank you and enjoy the rest of your week. We'll send out other communications as we get them. Look forward to seeing the videos that are coming through and some of the fun stuff that we have for you in the next week and weeks to come. Thank you so much again. This is Matt Ryan signing off for our live broadcast this week. Thank you. Bye-bye.